You're a psycho.
You're crazy.
Why can't you take a joke?
Do you realise how stupid you sound?
Why can't you be normal like my mates' wives?
I keep telling you, but you forget.
If you didn't do that, I wouldn't get so angry.
No one else will love you like I do.
Nobody else will want you. It's your fault you bruise easily.
You are not alone.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
Hello, welcome. My name's Lizzy. I'm going to do a little makeup tutorial on this look here, this kind of naturalish glowy look, something you can hopefully do during lockdown if you need a bit of a pick-me-up. Thanks for being here, thanks for supporting. We're raising money for Women's Aid and for Respect to help those people suffering at this time, especially from domestic abuse. So let's get on to the tutorial. Okay, so here is my naked face. You're very privileged to see my naked face because I wear makeup all the time, literally all the time. Very few of my friends have even seen me without a stitch of makeup on, so commiserations, I do apologise. So anyway, we're bare. I'm going to chuck on my little hairband doofer, get all my hair out of the way. I've done my skincare, I've got moisturisers on, I've got my eye cream on. It's really important to prep. I'm going to go for this kind of glowy, natural with very little effort kind of look. So I've started with a really good base with all my skincare. I don't tend to bother with primer, especially if I'm doing something really light and glowy. Don't see the point, can't be bothered. But it works brilliantly, you know, if you're getting married or something. But we're not doing that today. We are in lockdown and trying to look a bit less like somebody's big toe. So here we go. I'm whacking on a little bit of a CC cream. You can use CC cream, excuse my nostrils, I'm gonna try and find the right brush. BB cream, something like that. Just a little something with an SPF in it that's gonna give me a little bit of a glowy look. Maybe a bit more tan, we love a tan. The weather's been very kind to us lately and I've actually got a bit of colour, which is a godsend. So a little something just to kind of enhance that. Gets your SPF on the go, makes your skin look a bit better than its own natural self, especially if you're like me and you get the old hormonal breakouts. Whilst I'm doing this, I must say, doing this and to raise money for such amazing charities is like Women's Aid. I feel incredibly privileged to be able to sit here and do a tutorial on makeup. Like, that's all that matters in the world when there are people out there fighting for their lives on a daily basis, worried if they're going to wake up the next morning. You know, what's the day going to bring? I just think sometimes I think we forget how privileged we are. Yes, I'm out of work, can't do much about that, but I'm in a very safe household. I'm with my family, quite enjoying a bit of time off, to be perfectly honest. So I must say I feel incredibly grateful to be able to share just some tips on what seems to be a very trivial thing like chucking on a face of makeup with you, and to hopefully raise some money for these amazing charities whose support and finances have definitely dwindled because of the coronavirus. They're really struggling to continue the work, which has become so much more vital over these last couple of months, unfortunately, as people are locked down now with their abusers and can't really get away from them so easily. Things have escalated. A couple of statistics that were shared with us, one of the ones that really stood out to me was that within the first 2 weeks, one of the charities reported at least 16 deaths of women and children just in the first 2 weeks of lockdown through domestic abuse. Absolutely horrendous. So thanks for being here, thanks for joining me with this, and thank you for donating in advance. It really does make the world of difference to some people out there. Okay, so back to faces. I'm whacking on a bit of concealer because lordy knows I've got 2 children, and even though I'm on lockdown, I must say I'm getting some sleep on lockdown. I am humming some lions. It's going to be a struggle going back to work, but I must say the bags, guys, are real. A lot of concealer needed around the eye area and a good bit on the old zittage. So I'm plugging on some concealer. You can see I tend to do a lot of that. I like to do that with my ring finger. It's very delicate skin around here, and I just find it blends really well. I do use a concealer brush sometimes and I buff it in, but I often go in and just pat with my finger to make sure it's blended. So I'm going just right under this area, put more obviously in the centre bit here where you need it, but I'm quite freckly, so I need a good bit all the way out because I remember my mum, my lovely mum, once upon a time saying to me, darling, you've got a little bit of shadow fallout there or something, or is that a bit of eyeliner? I was like, no mum, it's freckles. No, it's definitely a splodge. No, it's freckles. So we're covering those up. And I like to put a bit just across here. Whether you're doing eyeshadow or not, it gives you a nice sort of cleaner, brighter look to the eye area, because again, get to my age, you're not so bright. But also if you are going to put some eyeshadow on, it's a really nice base and primer for that. So a bit of concealer around the eye area. Then I do tend to go and use my concealer brush for spots, because I find I can get a bit more precision. They tend to be a smaller area than the eye area. So buffing the edges. Bit of a concealer brush. Apologies that I keep having to look around the back of my phone. I haven't got a very big space that I'm working from today. Okay, so we've got a lovely little section over here which gets a bit spotty, and those repeat offenders mean I've got a bit of scarring, so I'm going to pretend those don't exist. Any little bits that you think, I'd rather not see that, chuck some, sorry, that was full on nostril shot there. Chuck some concealer on those bits. Oh. Okie doke. All right, base is looking okay. We're looking a lot less haggard already, which is always a Brucey bonus. I'm gonna set that with a little bit of loose powder. You don't have to do this. You can go straight in with bronzers and things like that. But I'm quite an oily beast, especially down my T-zone. I tend to find I look really shiny, or the makeup just wears away a little bit quicker if I don't pop a little bit of loose setting powder on. So I've just got setting powder, I don't know if you can see, a little bit of setting powder there, big old fluffy brush, bosh it on. That goes mostly down the centre of the T-zone area, but I do a bit onto my cheeks because I'm going to use powder bronzer there, and I tend to find otherwise it sticks and you end up with lovely little streaks, which is not very subtle. We're trying to look like I woke up like this. I mean, no one's going to buy that you woke up like the end result, but trying to look like we haven't spent hours at it. Right, so bronzer is my next thing I go to, a bit of bronzer. By the way, if you watch any of my other tutorials, of which I'm supposed to be doing many more now we're on lockdown, if we're doing a stronger eye look, like a smoky eye or something like that, I will do my eyes first and then do the base after, so you don't get all the fallout. But because we're going really natural and quite glowy, I don't feel the need to, so I'm doing my base first. So I've gone for a nice matte powder bronzer like that. And I like to try and find the cheekbones I once had, so they're in here somewhere. So we go in there and blend up, not down. Down looks mucky. Up, you get that little bit of shape. A little bit of bronzer like that, and then temples, just the very edges of the face, around the temples, a little bit of bronzer there. And we'll try and get back to having one chin instead of 5, so I'm going to go under there, get that shaded right out. That's just me. You probably all got lovely jawlines, you don't need to worry about that. But if you're like me and your cake sits here, we like to bronze that. If you do though, you need to take it down your neck a little bit, otherwise you're going to end up with a full-blown streak, and then you might not have chins, but you will have a beard, so I don't know which is worse. Right, blend that down. Alright. Oh, I'm already happier that I look a bit browner. Why does a tan make me so happy? Right, I use 2 types of bronzer because I am a bit tanorexic. In fact, that's not true. I used to actually use self-tan twice a week. I can't be bothered anymore, but I do use bronzer. So this little bad boy, it's got a little shimmer to it. It's a lighter weight bronzer, but it gives a little sheen. It's not glittery at all, God forbid, but it is a little bit of a glow. So I tend to use that more where I would naturally catch the sun. So tops of my cheeks a little bit, down on the nose, a little bit on the forehead, basically most places. But I don't know if you can see if the camera's good enough, but it does give a little bit of a kind of a sheen, which makes me look healthier, because too matte, not a fan. Guys, we are no longer 20. We are definitely 20 years older than that or more. Right, so eye area, we primed it a bit. Make sure you put powder over, because for me, I don't know if you can tell, but I get a bit of creasing just in there if I don't. So powder that in, smudgy smudge, powder that in. I'm not going to use a lot of eyeshadow. We don't want to be spending all day, you know, in theory on lockdown. We're chilling, we're in the garden, we're doing whatever, or we're still working and we only got 5 minutes, but you're going to be on Zoom with someone, you don't want to look like a toe. So you don't want much, you don't want to spend too much time. I tend to love going back in as the transition shade with my matte bronzer, and I will put that right in to the crease there. buff it in. Now, I always go from the outside in. It's much easier to blend. If you pop it here and then you go out, you'll end up with a big old blob. So you want it darker at the outside of your edge. So start at the outside of the eye, much simpler. Right, a little bit on the outside of the lid, not all the way, across to the nose. We don't need it all in there. Just outer half of the lid maybe. Get it a little bit of shade. And to be fair, that and a bit of highlight and then some liner and some mascara will do me for a natural glowy, obviously wake up like this kind of look. I'm not going to put oodles of extra stuff in there. What I did find in my little collection the other day was this little liquid eyeshadow. And it's really cute. I will show you now. Dead easy again. All right, you know what I was just saying about shimmer? I take it back. In the right places, ladies, in the right places. A little sheen, no glitter, might I add, because we're not 14 years old anymore, definitely. But that little sheen, oh, hello. That's taken at least 8 hours of extra sleep there, hasn't it? It's given me that bit of extra zing back. Yeah, loving it. Right, bit of that, and then we're just going to go straight onto eyeliner. I'm not going to bother with shading and contouring and all the lovely things that you can do when you're out and about with your mates and going for cocktails, because we are in lockdown. There are no cocktails. Well, there are. That's a lie. I've drunk more in lockdown than I've ever drunk in my life, I think. But, you know, it's my husband. He doesn't need to see me all dolled up. He's used to me looking like a big toe. Right, okay, a little bit of sheen in there. I think brightens up my eye area. I don't know about you, but God, I could look tired. Little sheen. So I've got my sheeny colour on my lid, a little bit of the bronzer into there. Pretty much it. If I'm fancying bothering with it, I might put a little bit of highlight up by my brow bone, in which case I'll get my powder highlighter and just do a little touch up there. But too much of it looks too obvious to me, especially for daytime. I go out walking the dog and I think, I don't know who I'm trying to be here. This is ridiculous. So just a little bit. Okay, great. All right, eyeliner. Now, I live in eyeliner normally because it really opens up my eyes. My eyes kind of look quite tired otherwise. How many times have I said tired? But I'm not doing nearly as much eyeliner at the moment because I find it looks a bit too full on. I don't know, I feel like I'm some sort of imposter. So, I'm taking a little bit of eyeshadow and just taking it right under my lashes underneath. Sorry, I'm looking a bit of a funny angle because I've got a mirror just here. A little bit just underneath like that. Starts to give us a bit of shape, makes the eyes look a little bit bigger. Never a bad thing. There we go. If you need to pull funny faces, by all means do. This one, a good one. Yeah, so that's that. And then a little bit on top if you want to. A little bit from the corner, maybe just a halfway, gives a little something, something. It just makes sure, I find when I put my mascara on, it can look like I've got spiders sat on my face a little bit if I have nothing at the base. So a little bit of liner for me actually makes me look a bit more normal. But that is probably just my eye shape. That's not the same for everybody. Right, so I've just done a little bit on the top there and just sort of smudge. So it's a bit like putting eyeliner on, but just doing a bit of powder. And yes, God forbid, I'm a makeup artist and I actually use that little jobber that comes in the eyeshadow palettes that you normally throw away, and that is mostly because, if I'm honest, my kit is in the salon or upstairs and I'm stood at my breakfast bar with the bare basics, so it fits, it works. Use a cotton bud if you want to, whatever, bosh it on. Right, but what I have taken to doing, which I love, is taking a black eyeliner and getting right up underneath the lashes on the waterline, which feels like a funny thing to do. It can be tickly. Concentrate. I would do this, get the old nostrils out, so tilt your head right back, and then with the other hand, lift up and get right in there. Now what you'll do there is just line the roots of the lashes without looking like you've really got eyeliner on, but it makes your lashes look so much darker and fuller before you get your mascara on. And for me, that sort of blends it all together. Can you see? It's subtle, but it makes a difference, doesn't it? Look at me, as if you're answering me right now. Yes, Lizzie, it does. Okay. Other side. Oh look, I went quiet for a second because I'm concentrating. Okay, 2 eyes, always good. Mascara, I cannot get enough of mascara. Now, if I can be bothered, I'm normally really good at putting on my primer and then a couple of different types of mascara, so it really looks all big and fabulous. But again, I'm getting a bit lazy on lockdown. I know to most of you, this seems like a full-on routine that's not lazy, but believe me, this is some of my more basic looks. I can get very carried away. So I put one on the bottom, and that's purely because this one for the bottom lashes for me doesn't smudge at all. Absolutely brilliant. If anybody wants to know what I've used, shout me on Facebook or whatever and I will tell you what's what. Yeah, a little bit on the bottom lashes. It's not going anywhere. Top lashes, I still use waterproof, but it's a bit more thickening and volumizing, so it's more likely to move a bit. But I will always go in and do a couple of layers of that. So I'll do this layer now, then I'll do my eyebrows, and then I'll do another layer. And then I might do my lips and then do a third layer, depending on how I feel. Cannot get enough mascara in my life. Mascara really does transform. It really opens your eyes up. And if you haven't got much eyelash, get some fake lashes on, not to walk the dog. Well, I mean, yes, to walk the dog. Why not? Celebrities would. But you know, don't be afraid of whacking on a false lash. You can get such natural ones out there now. If you're somebody that really feels like, I haven't got any lashes, my eyes look small, what am I going to do? Get some false lashes on. The more you wear them, the more natural they feel and become. And like I say, you can get some that are so natural that you really wouldn't know. Right, that's an eye with a layer. Oh, it makes a difference, doesn't it? Here we go. Decent eye, not so decent eye, decent eye. I must say, whilst we're chatting away, having a lovely time, hopefully, I know I'm going through quite quickly, so, you know, you can pause, you can come back to it, you can, whatever you need to do. But whilst we're having a lovely time, I should say as well, my thoughts, when somebody says domestic abuse, I always think, oh, women and children. And I know it's not, because then I think, no, Lizzie, because, you know, men get that as well. But I think a lot of us do automatically think of women, because obviously it is a higher percentage, definitely, of women that suffer from domestic abuse than men. But it's not fair to think that the perpetrators always are male. They're definitely not. So we are also supporting a charity that supports males suffering from domestic abuse called Respect, and it's a helpline for them. And it just means that they can actually feel, you know, talk to us. You're not less of a man because you need help. This is not okay. You do not deserve to be treated like this. Yes, you're in danger. What if that man's got children that are also in danger? And that helpline also helps to train other people that will be dealing with them, say emergency services, in how to talk to these men, how to help them, how to not make them feel that they shouldn't have spoken up. And, you know, just to raise awareness that actually, let's not assume that the people that are being abused are all female. They're not. So very proud to be helping to support both Respect and Women's Aid. Super important charities, especially at this time when everything seems to be so much more trying because of the lack of funding, because of the lockdown. Right, okay, we've got a good bit of mascara going on. Brill. I don't think that's my finest work, if I'm perfectly honest with you. Might have got a little bit there. Again, something I care a lot less about in lockdown. I'm just kind of like, oh, wash it on, smudge it in. Who cares? Do you know what the good thing about Zoom videos is? That as long as you've got a good bit of lash on, no one can really see the details. Whack it on. Right. Eyebrows. I did tint my eyebrows because they are really quite fair. So I don't need loads on there. If I was going to go for a glam look, I'd define them much more, but I'm not. So I'm just going to pick out the bits that are a bit more sparse and go through. And this is just a, would you believe, called Blonde brow pencil. It's still got a good bit of colour. It's a great colour, but it's still got a good bit of colour. I think if you're really blonde, this would be too dark possibly for you, depending on preference. But just define the arch a little bit there. Because it does lift your eyes amazingly. Just a bit of something on your brow, just to give you that little bit of extra shape. It does really lift. I know brows are a big deal. They have been a big deal for a while. I don't go in personally for too much of a sculpted brow. I'm not all about the ombre brow like most good drag queens should be. A lot of people are. For me, it's all a bit too Instagram model, and I think now that I'm a certain age, I need to just know myself a bit better than that. But God, they're beautiful. Have a look at some of these Instagram brows. Amazing. Right, so there's my half decent brow. My not so decent brow. So it just gives that bit more lift and shape. So let's just even that up. Again, concentrating. Must go quiet for a second. Whilst I'm quiet, just think about getting out the old wallet, getting your card out and doing a little donate. Do you know, even if everybody just gave £1 each, it's a massive difference. It's money they would not have had before. It's raising awareness, it's making us think, actually, there's stuff really close to home that we can really help with. Okay, sorry if I sound preachy, I hope I don't. It just really made me think about it. I wouldn't like to say I'm a selfish person, I'm not, but charities like this I don't often think about, you know, I do things like guide dogs and stuff like that, and to think actually this charity needs that much support at the moment, it's really made me think, God, aren't we lucky? Aren't I privileged to just be sitting here being able to do a bit of makeup, you know? So, yes, so if you can help, obviously, you know, I'm not earning, I certainly haven't been doing all my donations and stuff like that, but I think, God, I can probably spare a quid or two. If you can't, you can't. But raising awareness, we all know a bit more about it, hopefully. But if you can, really, really hugely appreciated. Right, we have brows. We're going to need a little bit, but we don't need a little bit of blush. I like a little bit of blush. I'm somebody that will go pink, as you can see all here. I get a bit of a tan on, I go a bit pinky first, but my face almost never gets much in the way of a flush at all. So it does make me look a little bit healthier. I've just gone for a pinky goldy. Actually, it looks stupidly bright in the palette. If you have a look at that, it looks like it's, I don't know if you can tell, it looks like it's really quite pink. It's got a little glow to it, but it's not. It's got a little bit of gold in there. It's lovely. So a little bit just on the apples. I never used to do apples when I was younger. You always used to go 2 fingers away from the nose and all sculpted. Now we want to look fresh and natural on the apples. Sweep it up the top of the cheek, and I'll follow that up with a little bit of highlighter. Did I bring the right brush? Not really, but we're going to go with it. Again, a bit of highlighter is always a good shout because we want to look glowy and effortless. Okay. You might have noticed I've got an intruder. 2 intruders, in fact. My son and my dog decided to join in the party. Hello, Ethan.
Hello.
There we go. I don't highlight many places. I'm not a massive fan of my nose. I don't highlight that much, but a little bit just there tends to be, makes you just look a bit more glowy. Don't want to go too shiny. Well, I don't want to go too shiny. I find it too much. Bit of that, bit of lippy. I'm obsessed with lip liner. I know a lot of people don't bother with lip liner. And when you're on lockdown, definitely just a bit of lip balm to keep your lips conditioned is great. But yeah, for the purpose of this, I'm gonna go with lip liner. A nice neutral. Ethan Westney, will you go away?
Why?
Because I am filming for some lovely people. They don't want to see your mug.
Which mug?
Your face.
My mug.
Yeah. Your mug.
Yeah, blue.
Shh. Okay, so I always overline my lips a little bit because I don't have much definition on my lip line at all. Again, freckles get in the way. So I overline just a tiny bit to the edges so it really makes them look a bit fuller and gives it that definition. Again. And fill it in a tiny bit if it's a need because it just looks more natural, and as it blends, as your lipstick fades, you still have that little bit of support there from your lip liner. Bit of lippy on the go. Again, gone for something a bit needy, but it's got that little bit of pink, a little bit of gold, bit fresh. Okay, more mascara, and then we'll pretty much be there, I think. Right, I take a little tiny bit of powder back over my brows because, again, because of the oily situation, you don't want to bother to put a bit of eyebrow on and then suddenly find halfway through the day it's vanished. So just a bit of normal loose setting powder sets them in place, means they're not going to move. Okay, we're pretty much there. So yes, it's definitely more of a glamorous look. It's not really super natural. You're not going to be able to convince people you actually woke up like this, but it's not heavy, it's not really full. I have not done anything with my hair, which we will sort that out, but that is it. Definitely look a bit fresher and a bit more glowy. The tan is real. I'd like to think I look 2 years younger than I did when I started. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting. Thanks for being here to help us with these amazing charities. I'll be there watching all the other videos with you, so I hope it's really helpful for you as well. And if you need any advice from me or you want to ask me any questions, hop over to my Facebook page or to my Instagram account, or I've got a website. If you look for Lizzy Westney, MUA, makeup artist, you'll find, there's not many Lizzy Westneys around, you'll find me. So I hope to speak to some of you at some point. Thank you so much for supporting and take care. Have a great day. Bye.